Hello everyone, and welcome back to UFO Evidence, the channel where we dive deep into the most compelling, unexplained aerial phenomena. Today we're tackling a subject that has puzzled researchers and intrigued the public for decades: the undeniable connection between UFO sightings and military bases. Why do these mysterious objects seem so fascinated with our most sensitive and secure locations? Let's explore the evidence. The history of UFO sightings near military installations is long and well documented, stretching back to the dawn of the nuclear age. One of the most famous incidents occurred in 1980, known as the Rendlesham Forest Incident. Over several nights, multiple US Air Force personnel stationed at RAF Bentwaters and RAF Woodbridge in England witnessed strange lights in the sky, and even encountered a craft on the ground. Deputy Base Commander Lieutenant Colonel Charles Holt recorded an audio memo during the event describing beams of light being cast down into the base's weapons storage area. This wasn't a fleeting glimpse, it was a multi-day event witnessed by trained military observers. What were they seeing, and why was it so interested in a nuclear-capable airbase? But Rendlesham is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's rewind to the 1960s and 70s. Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, home to a fleet of Minuteman nuclear missiles, experienced a series of extraordinary events. In March 1967, multiple missile launch control facilities reported seeing a large glowing red object hovering over their sites. Simultaneously, several of their nuclear missiles went offline, becoming completely unlaunchable. Captain Robert Salas, who was on duty that night, has testified for years about this incident. He described how his men were screaming into the phone about the object as their launch control systems malfunctioned one by one. 10 nuclear missiles were disabled by an unknown aerial object. Think about the technological implications of that. Something was able to interface with and neutralize our most powerful weapon systems. This wasn't an isolated incident either. Similar events were reported at other nuclear missile bases around the same time. Moving forward to more recent times, the phenomenon hasn't stopped. In 2004, the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group encountered what is now famously known as the Tic Tac UFO off the coast of San Diego. Elite Navy pilots, including Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, were vectored to investigate an anomalous aerial vehicle that had been tracked on radar for weeks. They described a white, smooth, oblong object about 40 feet long, with no wings, no rotors, and no visible propulsion system. It was maneuvering in ways that defied our understanding of physics, making erratic movements, dropping from tens of thousands of feet to sea level in seconds, and then accelerating to incredible speeds. Again, this happened in a highly controlled military training area. The object seemed to know the carrier group's Cap Point, a secret rendezvous location. How could it know this? Then there's the 2019 incident involving the USS Omaha, where a spherical object was filmed by the ship's Combat Information Center. The video shows the object flying over the ocean before seemingly splashing down and disappearing into the water. We're talking about trans-medium vehicles, craft that can operate seamlessly in both the air and under the sea. This took place once again during military exercises in a restricted warning area off the California coast. The consistency is startling. Sensitive locations, advanced technology, and trained military witnesses. So, what's the common thread here? It seems to be a clear interest in our military capabilities, especially our nuclear weapons and advanced naval assets. There are several theories about this. One theory suggests a form of reconnaissance. Perhaps an unknown intelligence, whether terrestrial or not, is monitoring our technological progress and military strength. They might be gauging our capabilities, our reaction times, and the nature of our defense systems. It's a sobering thought that we might be under constant, covert surveillance by a technology far superior to our own. Another popular theory is that these visitations are a warning. The cluster of sightings around nuclear facilities in the mid-20th century could be interpreted as a message about the dangers of nuclear proliferation. By demonstrating the ability to disable our most destructive weapons at will, perhaps they were trying to tell us that we were playing with fire. It's a recurring theme in ufology. The idea of a benevolent or at least cautionary presence trying to steer humanity away from self-destruction. A third, more unsettling theory is that these are not warnings, but tests. Probes, if you will. They might be testing our defenses, seeing how we react, and identifying vulnerabilities in our systems. This would imply a less than benevolent intent, possibly in preparation for a future event. When you consider incidents like Malmstrom, where our nuclear deterrent was temporarily neutralized, this theory becomes deeply concerning. It demonstrates a power imbalance that leaves us completely exposed. What is it about military bases? They are hubs of our most advanced technology. They house our most sophisticated aircraft, ships, and weapons. If you were an outside observer wanting to understand a civilization's peak technological capabilities, where would you go? You wouldn't hover over a shopping mall. You'd go straight to the places where the cutting-edge hardware is developed and stored. This includes not just weapons, but also advanced radar, communication, and propulsion systems. Our military bases are a one-stop shop for a technological intelligence assessment. The evidence from military personnel is often dismissed, but it should be considered the most credible. These are trained observers. Pilots, radar operators, and security officers are taught to identify known aircraft and phenomena. When they report something that doesn't fit any known category, their testimony carries significant weight. For decades, they were ordered to stay silent, facing ridicule or damage to their careers if they spoke out. But thanks to recent government disclosures and a shift in attitude, more and more veterans are coming forward to share their incredible stories. The US government itself has finally, albeit reluctantly, acknowledged these events. The Pentagon's UAP task force, now ARO, has released official reports and videos confirming that these objects are real and they remain unidentified. They have stated that these UAPs pose a potential flight safety risk, and in some cases a potential challenge to national security. This is a monumental shift from the decades of official denial and obfuscation. So, the next time you hear about a UFO sighting, pay close attention to the location. The pattern is undeniable. From the nuclear missile silos of Montana to the carrier strike groups in the Pacific, these objects show a persistent and focused interest in our military. Are they guardians, surveyors, or something else entirely? We don't have the final answers yet, but the evidence points to a phenomenon that is real, technologically advanced, and laser-focused on humanity's capacity for both innovation and destruction. The question is no longer, do UFOs exist, but what is their intent? What do you think is going on? Is it surveillance, a warning, or something more? Let us know your theories in the comments below. We read every single one. Thanks for joining us on UFO Evidence. If you found this investigation intriguing, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the unknown. See you next time.